Hello again. Today I'm going to be talking about ionic compounds and the bonding that goes on between the metals and the non-metals. Before Thanksgiving we looked at how to classify them. Remember, the metals are on the left-hand side of the periodic table with the exception of hydrogen, and non-metals are on the right-hand side. There should be a bold zigzag that divides your table so that you know which side is which. Okay, we're also going to be looking at their valence electrons. Those were in your notes. So you should know the valence electrons of each element. So we're going to start by drawing their Lewis's structure. So we know that potassium has one valence electron. I'm going to do that in green. And fluorine is a nonmetal. We'll do his in blue. So he has 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's not the greatest. But you want to try to pair them up on each side. Hopefully we'll get cleaner lines as we move on. And what happens is the most electronegative element, generally those towards the left side of the table, will give up their electrons. And so we're going to show that this one here on potassium is going to give his electron to the single electron on fluorine to create a full octet on both. And that results in 2 ions. So you have potassium now with its +1 charge because it lost an electron, and fluorine with its -1 charge because it's gained an electron. Okay, so this is a 1-to-1 ratio. It takes 1 potassium and 1 fluorine to make a neutral compound, and you're going to write that compound here is just KF. Okay, let's go on and do a couple more. So magnesium is in group 2, and it has 2 valence electrons. So we're going to put 1 up top and 1 to the right. Iodine is in the same group as fluorine, so it's going to have 7 valence electrons. We can do a better job this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so again, what happens is iodine is going to give up its electron to the one that's alone over here with iodine. But if you'll notice, magnesium has got another electron up here, and it's not done until it's gotten rid of both of those. So what we're going to do is kind of scooch our paper over just a hair, and we're going to draw another iodine over here on the left. We're going to put its valence electrons like that. And then here we're going to give him to the single guy. So this time it took 1 magnesium and it lost 2, so it has a 2+ charge. But it took 2 iodines that each lost 1 and each had a -1 charge. So when you write the compound, it looks like Mg and then a 2 subscript indicating that it took 2 iodines to neutralize them. A lot of times students get in the habit after a while of looking at these charges, because you can get those from the table for most of your compounds, and just crisscrossing them. So magnesium would have a 1 subscript and iodine would have a 2. And we may get there like maybe tomorrow or the next day as we start to look at nomenclature and writing compounds. But for right now, we're going to draw it out each step. So we've got a couple more we're going to look at. So beryllium is also in group 2. So let's see if we can fix it. There we go. 1, 2. And it's going to bond itself to sulfur. Well, sulfur is in group 16, right below oxygen. Has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. I'm trying to do them so it's a little bit easier to draw. So beryllium has 2 to give. And unlike iodine, sulfur can take both of those. So they're going to both get drawn that direction. And so what you wind up getting is beryllium with a 2+ charge and sulfur with a 2- charge. But it only took one of each to make the compound. So this is where maybe doing the crisscross method would get you in trouble. Because it's not Be2S2. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. So you would get just BeS for beryllium sulfide. Okay? All right, let's look at the next guy. We have sodium and oxygen. So sodium, he's in group 1, and he has a single valence electron. Oxygen is in group 16, just like sulfur was. So he also has 6 valence electrons. So sodium can give up its electron to oxygen, but oxygen's not satisfied with just one. He's still got another electron he needs. So what you're going to have to do is add another sodium in order to finish that bond. And do our best when you're drawing these by hand to make these dots, these are electrons that you're representing, look like little circles. I'm trying to make them bigger around here so you can see them, but on your paper, please do your best to make sure they look like circles and not just kind of blobs on here. Alright, and so then you have 2 sodium atoms that have been turned into ions with a plus charge, and 1 oxygen, which gained 2, so now it has a 2- charge, right? Alright, oh my goodness. Alright, and so then our compound would look like Na2O. Okay, so we wound up with Na2O because it took 2 sodiums to bond with the 1 oxygen. Alright, last one we're going to look at, we have aluminum, which has 3 valence electrons. So 1, 2, and you can put it on the bottom or the side, but I'm going to put it down here. And then it's bonding to bromine. Well, bromine, like iodine and fluorine, has got 7 valence electrons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and so aluminum is going to give its electron to bromine, but it's still got 2 more. So I'll fix that. That's Br for bromine. We're going to need 2 more bromines to make this happen. So let's kind of get over here a little bit. And so let's put 1 bromine here and 1 bromine here. You can see these take a lot of room, so kind of spread out on your paper. We'll do some of these with beads, so that you're not doing as much drawing. You can just process the electrons. There's 1. And for the most part, like see, I'm moving that single one kind of where I need it to be. As long as we're paired up, you're in good shape. So this one is on the right hand side, that one was on the left, and this one I put on the top, just because it's convenient to draw my arrows to meet them. Alright, so then that looks like an aluminum that has lost 3 electrons, so that's 3 plus. But it took 3 bromines, which each gained 1, so that's a -1. And so then that turns into the compound AlBr3 aluminum bromide. Okay, so add this to your notes. I think it's page 46. And we'll do some practice on it today that you'll turn in, and then we'll do some naming tomorrow. Good luck. Let me know if you have any questions.